Rahul and Priyanka.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's start. So we are we'll learn about articles today. Okay. So articles, there are 3 articles. Okay, a, and the. These are these are words which tell us more about the noun that we use, whether it is a definite noun or an indefinite noun. What I mean by definite and indefinite is when we use a and an, we refer to no one in particular. Okay, we are not definite about what person or what thing we are referring to. So that is what we mean by indefinite article. So when I say I need a pen, or I met an old lady. So in both the cases, if you see, when I say I need a pen, I am not saying which company pen or which brand pen do I need or which particular ink pen do I need. Okay, I am just saying I need a pen. And when I say I met an old lady, even here it is not clear which lady I am talking about. Then, so we use a and an in terms of when we talk about indefinite things, and when you talk about definite things, what are definite things? When I say I need the pen, I need the pen means I've already the listener already knows what particular pen I'm talking about. Okay. And when I say I met the old lady, again, you're the old lady. So if I am the speaker and I'm talking to someone who is a listener, the listener should know what old lady I'm talking about. Only then this will make sense. So is this clear about what is definite and indefinite? The entire lecture is based on this. So the will come only when you know what you're talking about, whom you're talking about, and a and n in general sense. Okay. So now there are few rules that you have to remember whenever you place an article before a noun. So when do you use an and? Okay. So when and is used before a word beginning with a vowel sound. Here I have highlighted this vowel sound because it is not just vowel, but it's vowel sound. Okay. In school times we have studied that if you have a vowel, then you place a and before it. But the rules are not so simple. So we'll see. Okay, as we move ahead. So first basic rule, that is if we have a A-E-I-O-U, right? So an enemy. Okay, so now what I'll explain what is vowel sound. So if you say an enemy, okay, it makes an a sound. Okay, enemy. Okay, so you should try to think about the sound and not just the letter. Then orange, it makes a o sound. Okay, that is again in Marathi or in Hindi. If y'all can change this to Marathi or Hindi, it will be better. Okay. And now if you say an umbrella, now in Marathi or Hindi, if you say umbrella, it starts with a, right? So umbrella starts with a and not u. That is why you place an before it. Is this clear? Why an umbrella? Not because of the u sound or because of the u vowel. It is because of the sound that umbrella makes. Okay. Now words beginning with H where H is silent. Okay, now if you say an historical, now in British or in American accents, the people don't say historical, but they say historical. H is often silent. Okay, it's historical. Again, honorable man and not honorable man. That is why we place an before it. Okay, it's honorable. Then our again starts with a. Okay. Honest man, again it's a o sound. Honest man. And air is like air. The pronunciation is like air. And air, I hope you'll know. Yeah, we'll see about it later. Y is not considered as a vowel. It is about the sound that the word makes and not a particular. It is not rigid. See, it is not like A-E-I-O-U. Then it will have an and. So you have to go for the sounds, and now these are very, very common. So from the exam point of view, if you see, there are very common words that they will give so that you all can detect the errors. But whenever you're working and you're confused, you go on the sound of it. Okay. So this was about age and about the normal words, okay? Now when to use an and? Whenever we have abbreviations, short forms, okay, that start with F. Now if you'll see F, again when I say F, the sound that I make A, okay, is again a A. It again has a A, so it's a vowel sound. When I say H, it's again a H, okay? Then L, N, M. So it again starts with this sound A, okay? That is why you have a vowel. When you have a R, it is A and R, okay? So R. When you have S, it again starts with A. So that is why when you have abbreviations, whenever you have short forms with these words, these 7 letters, okay, FHL and NMRS. Remember these FHL, NM and RS. You can break down and remember that. Whenever you have short forms with these, you will have an AN before that. So an MLA, if you have an abbreviation RAR, okay, an RAR, or we say an MP that is member of the parliament, or an SP or an LLB, okay? So 3 rules for and that we have studied. One is the basic vowel sound, which are the common words. One is where H is silent, okay? And the second rule is about the abbreviations. Okay, now when do you use a Now first of all, the basic rule that we know is when words beginning with consonant sound, okay, you use an like for example, a boy, a yard, a horse, a hole, okay. Now if you have this word university, if you see this word university or union, it is beginning with a vowel which is U, okay, but this U, it starts with YU, okay, U, and it doesn't have to anything with this U. If you think about the pronunciation, it's YU. So a university, a union, a European or a unicorn will always have a U before that. These are peculiar examples, or I will have to remember this, okay? Then a useful article, okay, again it is U, the pronunciation is U, then you have to go for a U-turn, okay? Then if you have 1 rupee note, it starts with okay? The pronunciation is has something to do with V, 1 rupee note. When we say 1, so a 1 rupee note, a one-eyed man. Okay, so this is the only confusing thing, okay? Between these are some particular examples that they try to confuse you with, okay? So just remember these. University, union, European, unicorn, and useful, U-turn, they all have a before that. Now, where else do we use a? When we talk about numerical 1, that is, not a word was said. What do I mean by a? Not one word was said. So when we have to talk about one thing, we at times replace it with a. I have a slice. Means what? I have one slice. Okay. Now, when do we say is? Now, when I told you, when we talk about indefinite things, we use a. So, if my sentence is Mr. Roy is suspected by the police, means what? Some man whose name is Mr. Roy is suspected by the police. I do not know. So, I'm saying Mr. Roy because it's very, very indefinite. I just know the name, but I do not personally know Mr. Roy, or I have never heard of him before. So, Mr. Roy is suspected by the police. Okay. But when I say Mr. Roy is suspected by the police, means what? I am talking about some person named Mr. Roy whom I know. Okay, I know that man, and that is why I am not referring to him as a. Okay. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when do you use the? When we speak of a particular person or thing, okay, but that is indefinite case. Okay, if I say I dislike the fellow, I am talking about a particular person that I dislike. Then if I say let us go to the club, now when I say the club means what? There is a particular club that I know about and I want to go to that club. I don't want to go to any other club. When we speak of something that has already been referred to, so if my sentence goes like I met an old man, The man had two daughters. So now first I have introduced this man. Okay, that is why I have an indefinite article here. And now that I've introduced this man and now the listener knows about this man, then I will use a definite article. The man means what? This old man that was introduced, I am talking about him. Okay. So in the first sentence it is indefinite, and in the second sentence it becomes definite because now I've introduced him. Okay. So we use the when a singular noun is meant to represent a whole class. Suppose I say the cow is a useful animal. Again, remember it's a here because it's useful. So when I say the cow is useful animal means I'm not talking about one particular cow, but I'm talking about cows. The entire the what do you say? The cow as an animal. All the cows in this world, I'm talking about them, and I'm saying that the cow is a useful animal. Okay. When I say the horse is a noble animal, I'm again talking about all the horses in the world. Okay. And here you can at times even say, I don't want to confuse you all, but you all can even say a cow is a useful animal. Okay. There is nothing wrong with that. But when you say a cow, you're talking about one particular cow. Okay. And when you say the cow, you're talking about the entire class of cows. Okay. But both the sentences convey the same meaning. Okay. But preferably we say the cow. Okay, again, the horse is a noble animal. The rose is the sweetest of all flowers. The poor are always with us. In these cases, we'll have to use a the, okay? The poor, the rich, the innocent, okay? Talking about all the people who are poor or all the people who are rich. Okay, now note, the two nouns man and woman used in general sense to denote the whole class have never an article. Okay, so when my sentence says man is the only animal that uses fire, this man is representing the whole class of men in the world, but still there is no the. So remember this, whenever you say man, there is no the before it. This is an exception, okay? Okay, now whenever I have words which are names of gulfs, rivers, you have to remember the seas, oceans, groups of islands, mountain ranges. Okay, if you see, these are all the things that are used to denote the natural, what do you say, natural bodies. Plural names of countries, deserts, regions, famous buildings, classics, or newspapers, and abbreviations. What I mean is when I'm naming a river, okay, then I'll always say the Ganges or the Godavari, the Persian Gulf. These are all natural bodies, okay, like river bodies or water bodies or mountains. The Red Sea, the Indian Ocean, the Himalayas. Now see, Himalayas is a proper noun, okay? Like when we say India, India is a proper noun, Himalaya is a proper noun. But then why do we say the? Or here, if you see Godavari and Ganges, these are all proper nouns. So we never say the India or the Delhi, but here we say the because these are not a single thing, okay? These are either a group of things. The Himalayas are a group of mountains. They are mountain ranges. It is not one particular mountain. Okay. Now, when you say Mount Everest, you don't say the Mount Everest because it is one mountain. But you're talking about a range of mountains. River is again, it flows throughout the country or it flows throughout a particular region. That is why you say the. Okay. So these are more of a collective sense when they have you use the. Okay, the Alps, the Atlantic, or whenever you have newspapers and abbreviations. Newspapers like the Times of India, okay, and the USA, the United States of America, we always say the, but we never say the India. Because again, it is a collection of 50 states, right? That is why we say the United States of America or the USSR, okay, or the UNO, the PLO. These are all abbreviations, so you put a the before that. Okay, again in these cases, these are particular cases. We say the Punjab again because Punjab is considered to be a collection. The name Punjab originated from these 5 rivers. That is why we say the Punjab, the United Provinces, because it is a cluster of a number of provinces. And again, the Deccan. Okay, the Deccan is the southern part of our country. That is why we say the Deccan. Okay. clear? Any doubts in this? Okay. Now before names of books. So this is the fourth rule of the, okay. Now whenever you have books, the names of the books, then you say the Vedas, the Ramayana, okay. There is a book called Iliad or the Puranas. But when the sentence will start with like this or in this format, we will put a the, okay. But when we are associating it with the author or when we have another proper noun before it, we'll say Valmiki's Ramayana, okay. Then we will not have a the. So before a given article, you'll even have to see what is at the beginning of it, okay. If you're just talking about the book, or if there is nothing, there is no proper noun before it or no common noun before it, then it will have a the. But here there is no need of the, or Homer's Iliad, okay. Now the fifth rule says because before names of things that are unique. That is when we say the sun, the sky, the moon, the earth, the equator, the stars. Okay. Okay. Sometimes the is placed before a common noun to give it the meaning of an abstract noun. The actor in him never gets tired. Means what? If there is a person who likes to act, okay, and he has the qualities of an actor, then you say the actor in him never gets tired. Means what? The qualities of an actor. So you say the actor in him, okay? So you're giving him an abstract idea of having qualities of an actor. This is one way of framing sentences, okay? The actor in him never gets tired. Or you say, at last the warrior in him was aroused. What do you mean by the warrior in him? Whatever qualities of warrior, okay? The power or the what qualities a warrior has. Okay, if he shows similar qualities to fight or to rebel, then you are going to say, at last the warrior in him was aroused. Did you all understand the meaning of these two sentences? This is an abstract idea, okay? Okay. Now, whenever a proper noun is qualified by an adjective means what? Whenever we put an adjective before a proper noun. Whenever we say the immortal Shakespeare, so you're giving a adjective here to Shakespeare, so then you say the. See, these are all rules that you are well aware of, okay? When we speak, we talk like this, but I have just put it on paper, so you all might think that there are a lot of rules, but many of the rules you all know and you all use it. But there are certain rules that we miss on, so you all just have to pick up those rules that you all do not know or knew before this, okay? The great Caesar. Okay, so now when do we say the Mr. Roy whom you met last night is my uncle? So we studied a Mr. Roy when you don't know, when the speaker doesn't know about that Mr. Roy. Okay, then we saw Mr. Roy when the speaker knows about Mr. Roy. And when do you say the Mr. Roy whom you met last night is my uncle? Whenever we are referring to a person, the listener is supposed to know. Now, if I am talking to someone, okay, I am talking to someone and to that person I've just introduced this Mr. Roy. Then I will say, okay, do you remember the Mr. Roy that we met last night? Then we will say the, because now the listener knows about this person. Okay? What possessive word? So Mr. Roy, in this case, you can even say Mr. Roy, whom you met last night, is my uncle. The is not necessary here, but if you put a the, means what? Means that the speaker knows about it. So even Mr. Roy, whom you met last night, is my uncle, or the Mr. Roy you met last night is my uncle. Yes, so the, if you put the, means that the opposite person knows about it. If you put an means what? I do not know about Mr. Roy. That's the only difference. That is the major difference between an and a the. Okay, now when to use the in terms of superlative degrees? The darkest cloud or the best book. Okay, this also we knew. this is the best book. We will never say this is best book. This is the best book. Okay, so superlative degree. With ordinals, he was the first man to arrive, the 9th chapter of the book. So again, first, 9th, if you remember ordinals and cardinals. First, second, third are ordinals, and 1, 2, 3 are cardinals. Okay, now when do you use the, it is placed before musical instruments. Okay, he can play the flute. You never say so. Now these places you have to remember that you have to play so the. You cannot say he can play flute. You say he can play the flute. For musical instruments, he can play the piano. He can play the guitar. Okay. Again with comparatives, the more the merrier. So these are all comparatives, right? The more they get, the more they want. So we'll have the, you will never say more merrier. It has to be the more the merrier. The more they get, more they want will again be incorrect. The more they get, the more they want. Now this is one case in exams where you get questions, okay? In what you say comparative sense, sometimes they will omit a the and you will have to check for the errors. Now, this example we had studied with nouns, I suppose. To make a common noun a proper noun means what? Akshay is the Sachin Tendulkar of our class. A Sachin Tendulkar is a proper noun, but here you're comparing of our team, you can say, if it is a cricket team. Okay. So when I say Akshay is the Sachin Tendulkar means what? Akshay has such qualities in sports or in cricket that his qualities are compared to the qualities that Sachin Tendulkar has. I am not comparing it with, so you remember we had done a lot of examples on this. Tina Darby, some ex-person is the Tina Darby of our class. Yeah. So Akshay, so likewise we are comparing the qualities of Akshay. Okay, that is why you have to put the. Akshay is Sachin Tendulkar name. We cannot say Akshay is Sachin Tendulkar of our class. We'll have to say the. Okay. So now when do we omit articles? Was it clear now before this? I am the. So when do we omit articles? When we have before names of materials, okay? Like gold is a material or metals. Okay, you can even omit it before metals. Gold, silver, copper, or whatever. So gold is a precious metal, or cotton grows in India. Whenever you talk about particular metals or other materials, you omit an article. So you never say the gold is a precious metal or the cotton grows in India. You always omit the article before it. Okay, now before proper nouns, right, we do not use the, in Delhi is the capital of India. You never say the Delhi, okay? But you say the United States. You remember that example. Again, Newton was a great philosopher. No article before Newton. Okay, so whenever article is used before a proper noun, they become common nouns. Means what? This man is a second Newton. Now you have put an article, so now Newton has become a common noun, just like the Sachin Tendulkar case. Okay, here it has become like a what you say common noun, and you're comparing the qualities of that man and Newton. Bombay is the Manchester of India. Again, you're comparing the what you say the attributes of Bombay with the attributes of Manchester. He was the Napoleon of his age. Okay, again you're comparing the qualities. For abstract nouns used in general sense means what? If I'm talking about abstract nouns, wisdom, honesty, falsehood, these are all abstract nouns, and you're not referring to them as something, but all factual. Okay, means what? Wisdom is the gift of heaven. You are not referring this to any man or any person in particular. These are all general sentences. This is always going to be true. Honesty is the best policy. Again, this is a true statement or a factual statement. You cannot say factual, but something that is what you say is not implied to a person or thing and which doesn't change. Okay. Falsehood is odious. Okay. Again, this is a general statement. So now when you use abstract nouns in general sense, you omit the articles. But when you specify, when you use them in specific sense, okay, you have to put an article. You may have an article. Means what? When you say the wisdom of Solomon is famous, now you are particularizing this. Means you are talking about the wisdom of Solomon. Okay, so just don't go by this rule that abstract, there will not be any article before abstract nouns. You have to even see in which sense they are used. If they're used in general sense, you are going to place no article. But here, the wisdom. Again, if you go by the first slide that we saw, the is very, very particular. So whenever you make something particular, that is wisdom, you're particularly talking about the wisdom of Solomon, it is going to have the. Here we were not particularly talking about anybody's wisdom. He showed a courage worthy of an older man. Okay, again you have a courage here. Okay. I cannot forget the kindness with which he treated me. Again, the kindness. Okay. Now, omission of articles before languages. We never say we are studying the French. We say we are studying English. He prefers French. There will not be any the before French or English. Now, if I ask you all, what will the sentence be if I say he prefers the French? Can any of you all tell me what this sentence means? He prefers the French. Come on, try. He prefers the French or the English. No, if I say, Rahul, if I say he prefers the French, means what? Or he prefers the English. If I put a the here, what will that mean? So when we say he prefers the Samvidhan Pratiksha, are you all typing anything? See, when I say he prefers French, it means that he prefers the French language. But whenever we refer to French people or English people, we always say the British, okay, or the English people or the French. So he prefers the French can also be that he prefers the French people. I was just testing if you are aware of this, but okay. Did you understand what I was trying to say? Okay, so again, omission. Now, this is an important rule. I guess this is one of the few rules that are important for today's lectures. Okay, so you remember this whenever we say, whenever we first of all have these words, okay, school, college, church, bed, table, hospital, market, or any places that you visit. Okay, so when these places are visited for the primary purpose, that if you go to a school and you are a student, or if you go to a hospital and you are either a doctor, a nurse, or a patient, then you say that you have visited these places for primary purpose. If you go to a church to pray, means you have visited it for its primary purpose, that is of praying. If you go to a market for shopping, means you have gone to that market for its primary purpose, that is shopping. Now that is, and then you will decide whether to put an a or an or the before it. What I mean is, whenever I will say I learned French at school, so school is a place where we learn things, right? We go for studying. So if I say I learned French at school, it will be at school and not at the school. Okay? Because school is the primary purpose of school is to learn. That is why we will not place a the before it. We go to church on Sundays. Now Sundays, Catholic people go to church to pray to God. Okay, so that is why again this is the primary purpose. So we will not say we go to the church. Okay, My uncle is still in hospital and not in the hospital. Why? Because if he's in hospital, he's probably sick or he's probably admitted in the hospital for his illness. So again, no the before it. He stays in bed whole day and not the bed, because bed is what is the purpose of a bed? You have to sleep on bed. So when you say he stays in bed means what? He sleeps in the bed the whole day. So okay, again, no the before these words, okay? But whenever these words are not used for primary purposes, means what again? So if I say the school is very near to my home, so I am referring to some school where I don't study, okay? Then I am going to say the school. Okay, now if I stay in a building, okay, and I am not a student, I am a normal professional and I am not a student, and if there is a school beside my house, then I will say the school is very near to me. Similarly, if you say I met him at the church, now church is not a place for meeting, right? Church is a place to pray. You don't go there to meet people. So if you say I met him at the church, you'll put a the before it, and not at I met him at church, but I met him at the church. Again, if you say the bed is broken, now bed is not what you say. Bed is for sleeping. If it is referred to as anything else apart from sleeping, you're going to put a the before it. I went to the hospital to see my uncle. Now I have gone to the hospital to see my uncle. But hospital is a place where you don't go to see people. It is just a place where you go for treatment, or the doctors and the nurses go to treat people. These are the only two primary purposes of an hospital. So if I went to the hospital to see someone, then you put a the before it. Okay? Is this clear? Okay. Where else do you omit the articles? If you say before relatives like father, relations like father, mother, aunt, uncle, or cook. Cook meaning what? Our cook, or nurse meaning our nurse. Means what? If you want to say, now see, these are just rules that I have to convey to y'all, but there is not much important to these rules. The ones that I'm telling you, pay attention. You have to pay attention, because when you say father was asking for you, you will either say my father was asking for you. You never say the father or a father. Okay, you will only say father, or you'll make it possessive by saying my father was asking for you. But aunt wants to see you means what? My aunt wants to see you. Cook has given notice means what? Our cook, the person or the lady or the man that cooks for us, has given the notice. You will not say the cook has given notice or the nurse, okay? Because it is implied that we are talking about our cook or our nurse. But only when you're talking about our cook or our nurse, okay? When you're talking about some other person you want to specify to, then you can say the cook or the nurse. This is just when you're talking about people that are around you: father, mother, aunt, uncle, cook, or nurse. You don't understand? Wherever you say nurse and cook, you don't have to eliminate the article. Only when the nurse or the cook is with relation with you, then you omit the article. Okay, now now after these, I guess the rules are a little important. So see, before nouns denoting a unique position, okay, or a position that is held at one time by one person, means what? He was elected chairman of the board, and you do not say he was elected the chairman of the board. You always say he was elected chairman of the board. Mr. Banerjee became principal of the college and not the principal of the college. Okay. So this is one rule that is important. Again, now transitive verbs, we will study what these are when we study verbs. But you have to remember these phrases. You don't change these phrases. To catch fire means what? If a house is on fire, we will say the house caught fire. We never say a fire or the fire. Okay, so these phrases you will have to remember, or at least read. You don't have to like learn it, just read them. To take breath, you never take a breath or the breath. Okay, so all these are the same words. To set foot on Mars, you don't set a foot. Okay, it is always going to be in this form without without an article. Okay. Now omission of articles. Whenever there are certain prepositions, okay, which are followed by an object or a noun, okay. So at home, she is at home, not she is at the home or she's at a home. In hand, in debt. Now these are all phrases, okay. These are all words that you use in English. How much cash do you have in hand, okay? Or I am in debt, okay. By day or by night, by a day, by the night, it is never said like this. So iske beech mein they don't put an article ever, okay. At sunrise, at noon, at sunset, at night, okay. At dinner, I will see you at dinner, okay. On demand, we never say on a demand or on the demand. So she performed once again on demand. On earth, or you say by land, by water, by river, by train. She traveled by train, okay. Call me by my name or by name. So you just have to avoid putting articles, okay. You can put other words. You can say call me by my name, okay. And on foot or on deck. Okay, for a noun, this is the most important, okay, most important. Whenever you speak in English or whenever you write, don't put an article before this. What kind of behavior is this? We always say, what kind of a behavior is this? What kind of a boy are you? What kind of a girl are you? Don't put a. That is very, very wrong English. Now, other rules now many people don't know, but these all are minute rules, and whenever you even speak or you want to make an impression, this is not only for point of view of exams, but always in life, never say what kind of okay, or what sort of. I guess that we had come before, like we have studied this earlier in some chapter. We had done this. What kind of house do you live in? Okay, just remember this rule. Okay, now this is again important. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Rahul. Okay. So when I say, now we studied about when to use a and the, then we studied when to omit a and the. Now we are studying about what sentences will sound, or what sentences will make sense if we repeat them. Okay. If I say I have a black and white dog, this a is applying to both black and white. Okay. So that will mean that I have a dog which is partially black and partially white. Okay. And if I say I have a black and if I have a white dog, means what? I have two dogs. One is black and one is white. So you have to see where the article is placed. Okay. The entire sentence will change with the placement of the article. If I say the secretary and treasurer is absent, means what? There is a person who is both the secretary and the treasurer, because the applies to both secretary and treasurer. Okay. Then is absent, means what? Posts for secretary and treasurer are held by one person. If I say the secretary and the treasurer is absent, sorry, we have an R here, right? Then that means what? The post of secretary and treasurer are held by two different people. Okay, we'll have an R here, right? Okay, I hope this is clear. So there are two things. Is or R se also we understand that there are two people, and even from the we understand that there are two people. Okay. Okay, so this was it for articles, and you'll just remember that at many places, okay, at many places in a lot of written English content, sometimes some rules will be contradicted. Okay, to whatever I've given you all, but the major rules or most of the rules that are certain rules are not that important. But now when I talk about this rule that you have to omit it, then these rules are very, very important. Or when I spoke about umbrella, or when I spoke about unions, it has to be a union. Okay, all these are very, very important. But at times when you say the cow is a what you say useful animal, you can even say a cow is a useful animal. So articles always, you don't be so rigid on it. Okay. But then at certain places, if the articles go wrong, then they're going to go completely wrong. So you all should know which are the major rules that I pointed out. You all have to remember. Like you all cannot use a article after kind. What kind of a boy? You all cannot use an article. But when you say the Mr. Roy or Mr. Roy, it is okay to place an article. But then there is a difference between a Mr. Roy and the Mr. Roy. Okay. So you all should know what is very, very accurate and what can be managed. Okay, so direct. So now you all don't get questions on direct and indirect speech, but since this is a grammar topic and you all should have a little idea on what this is, okay, I'm just introducing this to you all. So whenever we quote something that somebody says, whenever we put something in quotations, okay, you say it is direct speech because whatever was said, we just put it in that. You just quote a person, and whenever you talk about what the person said, we call it an indirect speech. Means what? Now, if a person has said, Harry, will you eat it? Okay. So she said, Harry, will you eat it? जैसे था वैसे all have written it. There is no change in this. Our entire statement was this. And what is indirect speech? When you say she asked Harry whether he would eat it. Okay, now this is an indirect speech because here we are not quoting what she said. We are putting it in our own words, what she said. Okay, that's it. So indirect speech connectives are used in place of inverted commas. Now, what are these connectives? When you say Roy said, I am free today, Roy said that he was free that day. So you have to put a little connectives in that sentence for it to make sense, but there are no rules on it. Okay. Now we'll study this better when we do tenses again ahead. Okay, in the next coming weeks. Why do you say was and when do you say is? But this is just basic direct indirect speech. Whenever it's in quotation, it's direct, and whenever it is without quotations, it's indirect. So is this clear till now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's do an exercise quickly. First, okay. Rahul, wait. What is the answer of the first one? The cow is a useful animal. Samida's answer is correct. Okay. Second, Rahul, your first answer is incorrect. We had this in our examples. The cow is a useful animal, right? Okay, second one, come on. Okay, right, Pratiksha. Third. Yes, so you can say a cow is a useful. See, here we always have an a. You can put a the here or an a here. Okay. So you had Rahul, you had put a the here, which was incorrect. Okay, so third one quickly. Okay, Samida, right. Fourth one. Pratiksha, it is going to be a poor man, right? Fourth will be okay. Fifth one will be
Fifth one is the, madam.
Okay. Sixth one. Okay. Okay.
Do you see the blue sky?
Okay, Rahul, you have to use the chat box because if all of them start, all of you start talking, then it's going to be a problem. Banaras is a holy city, okay. Ninth one. Okay, fine. So this is it for articles, okay. It's pretty simple if you remember a few rules. Now, one thing now this exercise is not enough, okay, for articles. I have more examples. I will after this lecture quickly send it to you all. Just try solving it, okay, on the group. But then, is it okay on the group, right? If I send it in forms of images, because then converting it into PDF is again a task. Videos is all the RC. Sorry, not RC, parajumbles. Try solving them. Should I send the answers? Cam scanner. Cam scanner is what, Chinese app, right? It was supposedly blocked. Okay, so if I send you an images form quickly, then I can send a lot of things. But then images and then converting into PDF is going to become a task. So if you all want, I can send a lot of examples from my book that I have. But then I am not sure if you all want to solve it. So if you all want to solve it, pakka, then I'm going to send it. Like I have a lot of exercise and articles. After this lecture, since we have finished it early, I can send a lot of examples. Okay, so I will send it. I will send you all a PDF on this, and again, okay, fine, Rahul. Okay then. Anything from your side? You all want to discuss anything? And आज nobody sent vocabulary today. हो गया क्या words करके? Time RC means what? If you want to talk, you can use your mic. Atiksha, if you want to say something. Reading comprehension, I will send. At least, did you all solve the parajumbles? Do you all work on your desktops or what? Like if I send an RC, are you going to be on your phone or your desktop? So I will send images on phone only. If you're working on phone, then I guess images are going to be fine, right? Okay. So I will send, just don't get confused with the images. Okay.
Ma'am, I want to ask one thing.
Yeah.
I daily read the newspaper, but one thing is that it takes much amount of time. And my parents say just read headline and just keep it. Don't read the entire content. So how to follow?
See, so you don't have to read. What do you read also makes a lot of what you say. You don't read politics, don't read don't read this Bollywood gossip and anything. Okay, read columns that are informative, and you don't have to read the entire newspaper. You read the headlines, and then you read. See, if you read the Hindu, then there are, I guess, 4 columns. Okay, 4 sides. You just have to pick up something informative. So Economic Times hota hai. In that, you can read 1 column, 1 or 2 columns. Don't read the entire newspaper. You'll take 2 hours to read an entire newspaper. More than 2 hours.
One issue, ma'am, by reading the if not reading the entire paper, how you will get to know the much amount of words, vocab?
See, so vocab is something that is not limited, right? Even if you read the entire newspaper, you're still going to be short of words. So that is why I had asked this for group activity, okay? So that you do, if you read some like 10-15 words, and if Pratisha reads another column, and if someone other from other person reads another column, and if we compile this as a group activity, then you're going to benefit from each other. That is why I was insisting on sending words every day, at least one of y'all. Even if 2 send, then it's fine. But you don't sit and read the entire newspaper. You're going to waste too much of time on it. I will not say waste, but it's going to be very time consuming. So read only 2-3 columns which are factual. You remove vocab from it, and then if you want more and more vocabs, I can send you every day. I have a book full of vocabulary, but then I don't send it because I'm not sure if you'll want to grasp it. I can bombard you with a lot of questions and with a lot of vocab. So if you all want that, I will start doing it. So don't get confused there.
Yes, we need it, ma'am.
Okay, then I will send it. But then at least you all also start contributing, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so now I'll send you all articles quickly. I'll try solving it. Then we'll talk about the solutions. I will send the solutions. Okay, but you all be active in the group. Okay. Okay then. Anything else? Then you ask in the group. Fine. Okay, and Atharv and Harsh, you have to say something. Okay. So whosoever is active in the group, please be active. Even if it's Rahul, Pratiksha, or we are like 3-4 of us active, be active, okay? Okay then. Let's stop here. Okay, bye.